Hey, you guys.
Hello there.
Oh, General Kenobi.
That's it now.
All right. You know, there's a song, I guess we're here, that's called like Hello Dare. I think it's like DER, or the guy just can't talk. It's one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
One of the radio shows in the morning I listen to, I think it's Bob and Tom.
Okay.
The guy is like obsessed with the song. It's a piece of shit and I hate it, but it's just a weird reference. Anyway.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with that one.
Perfect. Let's do the intro the right way.
I just watch NPR, listen to NPR though. So
yeah, that's true. What are we doing, Matt?
we are doing a podcast that is mostly about video games
That's true. I like that. I like the mostly idea.
called Gamers 2.
Because we're also gamers. TOO.
Yes,
That's the way I planned it.
we are Gamers 2, as well as other things.
As well as a whole lot of other things. You can't label me. Anyway,
That's the secret side.
this is the secret sauce.
Secret side with secret sauce.
Secret side, a secret sauce, a secret life, a pie. So, what have you been up to in this last week of weeks?
Week of weeks. Well, I'll tell you what I haven't been doing. Playing video games.
I love it.
Right?
I love every time we do a gaming podcast. Matt successfully made it halfway through the year and then stopped playing games.
Listen, it's just, I'm just chilling.
All right.
Just chilling. I'll get there.
I'm sure you will. I can't wait till we get to the game of the year discussion. He's like, I still haven't played God of War. And I'm like, all right.
I mean, I got to set priorities. That's the thing. It's like, I got to make a list.
At a certain point, if we reach game of the year and you have not played God of War, I might postpone game of the year.
I got a whiteboard. I got to make a list, like probably Shadow of Colossus. Is that what it's called? Yeah.
Yeah, Shadow of the Colossus.
That'll probably be number one because that's, I can bang that out over like a weekend or something.
Yeah, probably.
And then like probably God of War will be number 2. And then there won't be a number 3 until we have a new release, I'm sure.
Detroit, Red Dead, Fallout.
Yeah, Detroit I could put on there maybe. I don't know.
Battlefield. Forza.
But yeah, the new releases.
Yeah.
After that. Anyway.
Yeah, so you have a month and a half. Get moving.
Yeah, I mean, but this is the thing. When I start a game, I generally like plow
That's
through
true.
it.
Yeah, you I don't know about plow through is the right word to define what you do.
I consume it quickly.
No. Quickly is not the word. You explore that game.
Yes, but I do it relatively fast compared to like the fact that I beat it, like the whole thing.
Okay, yeah. I guess in terms of a calendar month, it does not take you long because I believe you beat Dragon Age in a week or roughly thereof.
Yeah.
But it was also 160 hours.
Yeah, usually when I start playing a game, it's like every spare moment I have goes into playing it, and then it's
okay. That's what. All right. Just want to be clear about that. So what have you been doing that isn't gaming? I
started reading a book called Bruce Lee in Life by Matthew Polly. It's a biography, obviously. It's been fantastic, and I haven't really gotten into Bruce Lee's life at all. I've been mostly covering his grandparents, his parents, his early life in Hong Kong.
The beginnings.
The very, very beginnings, which he was a little shit. Let me tell you. Little shit. He had like a gang. I use that term loosely.
I believe that.
Let me tell you about this prank that he pulled.
Go for it.
Real quick. So him and a friend had a misunderstanding with a movie theater or theater ticket box guy.
Okay.
And they decided to get back at him. And they did that by getting him food and offering it to him as an apology, but they put laxative in the food.
Ooh, the good old poop prank.
Exactly. So as they waited in the bathroom, and the guy eventually came in to relieve himself.
Of course.
And they had a bucket full of shit.
Oh.
And they put a firecracker, like a big, like probably like a quarter stick, what we consider like a quarter stick of dynamite, something like, something sizable.
M80-ish.
Yeah. And they lit it and put it in the bucket and then slid the bucket under his stall.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was kicked out of school. too.
Right,
It was interesting. Anyways, good book. I suggest it so far. What else have I been doing? Watching some stuff. I watched Lincoln finally. I haven't ever seen that. I don't know if you watched that before.
Daniel Day-Lewis, right?
Yep.
No, I've not.
It's really good. Super good. Lincoln. Good guy.
Good guy, Lincoln. Shut up. File history.
I partook in a guilty pleasure of mine, which is anime. But
Okay.
it's a specific genre of anime that's like
Food
really
anime?
cheesy and like, you know, that like romantic comedy cheesy anime.
Oh, yeah. Good luck, Chuck. It's just not anime. It's a really shitty romantic comedy.
But
inside joke there. Ying.
it's basically about these otaku people who like, you know,
What's
can't
the
get
what's,
relationships.
What's the age that they are?
Out
of high school?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
They're,
I don't know.
They're in the workplace.
You know anime. It's
it's 75% of anime takes place
in a high school.
Yeah, it's that takes place in an office. It's predominantly an office building, and it's they're probably in their 20s, I would assume.
Okay.
And then the big one that I watched last night that just filled me with rage.
Ooh, raging Matt.
Not rage. I don't know. It just crossed me because it had so much potential, and it wasn't. But there was like so many. There was a couple fatal flaws. It's a movie that's on Netflix. It's a Netflix original called How It Ends. Is that what I wrote down?
Yes.
Yeah, How It Ends. And short synopsis: daughter, female, future, girl, significant other / daughter is in San Francisco. Her man there, and her family are I think they're in New York City.
Okay.
And natural disaster, some sort of disaster happens, which takes down the whole U.S.'s like power grid and network. And,
Okay,
like, all
so
these crazy things.
every natural disaster movie.
Yeah, all these weird things start happening, and father and boyfriend decide to. They don't get along, by the way. That's a big part of the story, but
okay.
Not important for this. Travel to get to her.
Okay.
So, one of the big aspects of this movie is that they're constantly needing gas or looking for gas.
Right. It sounds at the point like they've pretty much made Oregon Trail a movie.
Yeah, it's like the end of the world, obviously.
Right.
But the whole time they take the father's car, which is a Cadillac sports sedan, like one of their sedans. I don't know what the name of it was, but it was one of those. It was a new sedan that was like one of their extremely sporty ones that probably gets like
CTS or
whatever. It's like it probably gets fucking terrible gas mileage.
Yeah, it's probably in the 20s.
And they take that, and they take it almost the whole way there. When they could have, there were so many other cars that were just abandoned, and then they get their gas stolen by someone who's driving a fucking Prius, who they eventually go and fucking kill. But anyways, so that really irritated me. And then the other thing that irritated me is they're like another big point of this movie is like they keep having to fight other people.
Okay.
Obviously, because
and end of the world.
Yeah.
Every man for himself situation.
They have one pistol. Not a big deal.
How do they only? At what point? Never mind. I don't want to enrage myself with the idea of they only had one pistol the entire way to New York.
The dad is a military guy, so he had
one pistol.
So he had a pistol. He was living in New York City, totally plausible. Really hard to get guns in New York City.
Not if you're a military guy. You know where to go.
So they have the pistol, but what kills me is they keep getting into these like very crazy confrontations. Eventually, they come across, like halfway through the movie, they come across a train that was going across the country that had wrecked, and it was full of tanks, Humvees. It was like a military train.
Okay.
So they grab the fucking gas canisters, of course.
Right.
Don't pick up any of the frickin' M16s,
Humvee.
M4s, like just laying around.
The Humvee.
Like...
Every Let's raid this army munition place and not even look at anything more than gas.
So, long story short, it's an interesting movie, but it might irritate some people. Like myself.
Like yourself. Probably me as well. If it irritated you that same way, that's...
Yeah, there's a lot of other stuff in there, too, that we could go into, but I'll be talking about it for
level,
half an hour, so...
There's an understood level of disbelief that like you need to have, like you need to suspend it and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But then there's just moments where I'm looking at something and I'm like...
You're just stupid. Like
I understand we can't have like the retcon moment of, 10 minutes to give me this guy's story. But at no point the entire way did they ever think like this. Like how is that possible?
It's just kind of like, it happens in horror movies all the time, but the interesting part about horror movies usually is that people don't know they're in the situation.
Yeah, they can't usually, and even once they do find out, that's where you get the cliches that people hate. Yeah. Once they find out they're in the horror movie, and then they're like, but wait, we got to go back in the house because I left my Gucci purse in there. You're like, are you stupid? But
yeah, it's so frustrating. Yeah, so that's about it. That's what I've been doing.
Fun times.
Yeah. It's actually been interesting because the Bruce Lee book is the first book I've picked up in a while, and it's the same issue that I had with video games initially, where I kind of still do, where I feel like I don't have enough time. So like I've had the book for like a week, and I'm like just getting to like the second chapter because I literally only read it on breaks at work. And of course, it's got a giant photo of Bruce Lee on it. So like I'm reading the book, and like I'll be like 5 minutes. I would have sat down for 5 minutes. Someone comes in and sees the book and like, oh, it's awesome. Let me talk to you about this. And it's like, oh, I'm trying to read. Like,
right.
Anyways, what have you been up to? I'm sure your game column's going to be significantly longer.
Per
usual.
As if you mean above 0, yes.
I set high goals for you.
I know. I always appreciate the goals you set, and I'm like, I can beat those.
I'm here to make you look better, Nate. All right?
If that is not true in life, I don't know what is. One of us is always there to make the other one look better. I walked in the store when I was looking for you the other day, and I was like, where's my twin? And they're like, oh, he's in the back. I was like, thanks. And I didn't ask it. I asked it to Carla, so it's not really exactly fair, but she didn't argue with me like most people would. Be like, he doesn't look like me. I'm like, he doesn't look exactly like me, but there are definitely similarities. We are fat and out of shape and have the same haircut and facial structure.
Yeah. Ugh.
Anyway, I've been doing my usual. So let's start backwards, I guess. Agents of Mayhem, still playing that every now and then. Fun time.
Yeah,
it's the fact that I paid $7.50. It might be making me enjoy it more, but it's still I'm still at the. It's an okay game. Not going good yet. But it's not bad. Like, I'm not having problems.
There can't be a whole lot left, I would assume, right?
I haven't played that much.
Okay.
I've probably, since last week, maybe played like 3 more missions. Like, I'm not really... Because I've been playing a lot of FM.
Getting back into that
we got the World Cup bug, and it just kind of bit us. I'm going to fall over if I'm not careful.
I noticed that every once in a while when I hop on Steam, I'll see you guys in Football Manager.
So we went... pretty good. We're into the January transfer window right now for us. I'm working on buying some defenders because I need a little bit of help back there because I'm getting old. So need to get in some new players, and I got some youth guys that are going to be coming up. Stuff like that. Good time.
Yeah.
I'm back. I think I might be in first place. I might have beaten the team in first to overtake them by like a point. So I'm right there. Kenny's... that was me coming from 8th back up to first now. And Kenny, I think, is in 3rd.
He's been steady up there, though.
Yeah. Right? Him and I both had a moment where we kind of dropped out for a little bit, but we've since made our way back. So I'm feeling good. It's a good time. Good. I'm gonna blow it. I'm gonna blow it every other time. I've only won that league once, I think. No, that's a lie. Wait, is it? Once, twice. No, I lost to Chelsea that time. Who cares? I've won it at least once. It's been a fun time. I don't think I've beaten Kenny yet, though. Something about whenever him and I play. Just never...
Never works in your favor.
Yeah, and only like once was it really bad because I didn't realize what was happening on a corner tactic and how to fix it. So he just kept kicking him short, and his guy just buried him every time. I'm like, I don't know it happened. Happened twice before I realized what I needed to do. I'm going to skip over that one. I've been playing MLB.
Still chugging away.
I'm still chugging away, still enjoying it. Except for today, I played 2 games, lost both of them, and turned it off.
That's a fair tactic, though.
I usually don't have the complaints that the community has. Not to the degree, I would say, of the Reddit community, that is. But I was trying to get missions done, which meant I needed to get a win for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a reliever that needed to get a win. So I pitched enough with my starter, tie game, bring in the reliever, so now he is the credited pitcher if I win. I get the lead. I bring in a closer. Closer gives up a single, whatever, who cares? I got 2 outs, I think, or 1 out. And I throw one low and inside to a guy, not in the strike zone, and he jacks it into the second deck in left field. Game over. I'm like, I'm on rookie. What is happening? So I'm like, all right, whatever, one game.
Sometimes I wonder if they have designed algorithms to be like, oh, this person's trying to do something.
There's a lot of talk on the subreddit that because people were farming so hard in rookie that they went in unknowingly and started changing sliders to make it not farmable. And people are like, what is going on? Because before you would get pitches just pretty much down, fastballs down the middle. Mm-hmm. They'd mix in a couple things every now and then. Now on rookie, guys are painting corners and dropping curveballs out of the zone and stuff. And you're like, what is this? This is not rookie. But whatever.
That would be such a dick move.
It would, but it wouldn't surprise me because sometimes they are a lot of dicks over there. And then so that happened the first game. Second game, I'm like, whatever. I'll give it one more shot. Same thing happens. I get the guy in for the win. I switch out, or I gave up a home run early, so I didn't bring him in right away. I got to run back, so now it's tie game. So I brought him in. He does his thing. I go up 2 runs. Closer walks somebody because he wouldn't throw a strike. Gives up a double, so I have men on second and third. And then a different guy puts one into the right field bleachers. 3-run home run, game over, they win.
Jesus.
And once there was a slider on his, coming in on his hands, and he put it over. I'm like, I don't. And it's kind of hard sometimes to see, after a pitch, when you're still in game, there's a little window that pops up that shows where they were looking and where your ball actually finished.
Mm-hmm.
But when the game ends like that, it's not there. It
Yeah.
just doesn't happen. And there is no way that slider was in the strike zone. It probably would have hit him. I would have walked him if anything because it was coming in hard. I missed my meter and it was just hooking in already. It started breaking in the middle of the zone instead of the outside where I wanted it to. And it gone. And I was like, that's 2 walk-off home runs. I'm not doing this anymore. I turned it off. This is 2 walk-off home runs on rookie because I'm trying to farm shit. Fuck you. And then I've been playing a lot of WoW.
Getting back in. Warming up.
I'm flexing my arthritic limbs. And what's that other?
Carpal tunnel.
Yeah, that one. I was going to say, what's the Ben Gay joke? Carpal tunnel. Yeah.
Do I need to bring over some wrist brace for you?
No, I need the hand clamps.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I can just sit here and
on
stretch my fingers. No, it's been... We'll talk about it a little bit more later, but it's been interesting. I don't have any real problems yet that I've experienced. But the pre-batch has been an interesting time for some people. Probably the most notable one, I won't mention it later now, but there was a screenshot on Reddit. I think it was the person's death recap. And they were taking, 500 damage, 500 damage, 500 damage, 500 damage, which was just auto attacks. And then I think the text was, baby elephant decided to take a bath, 56,000 damage. And the person's like, I don't know what happened. I'm really confused. And I just started laughing. It was a pretty good one, but it's fun.
Someone missed a button or
Yeah, somebody missed
modifier somewhere.
Somebody had a bug alert that they didn't mention or something. Reading. I finished Takeoff by Joseph Reed.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, I believe it's supposed to be the beginning of a series. I'm not sure that I want to go back. Not because he did the good thing of not really setting up book 2,
Mm-hmm.
which is the problem I had with the first ones I've talked about, where like the book is ending and they're like, "Hey, by the way, you want this other situation?" And I'm like, "What? No!" Like, or one of the ones that I was reading about that killer or whatever ends with the main character marrying this woman and like being old and having a child. And I'm like, how is he? There's no way unless that there's a continuation unless it's following somebody else. Like it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah,
that was the one.
Kid takes over.
That was the one where like you would sink into the memory machine and see people's memories before they.
Okay.
But this one was good. It was a good touch to the end and stuff, and it didn't. I can see where there would be a second one, but I don't. It doesn't need one. It's a good just stop point.
Yeah.
That's it. Like I can see where they would try to make another one. Like, oh, there's another airline, something. Who cares? Private protection person, but like, don't need it. You left enough mystery of me wanting to ask questions, but that I don't necessarily need the answers to.
There's definitely a sequel, though. I'm assuming, right?
I believe in like the parentheses of like the book title is supposed to be like a series 1 or something. Starting like an indication that there's more. The problem I had with that is stuff like was it James Patterson that has all of, like the alliteration titles?
Yeah, it's like
up to like 19 or something.
I think they're up to 20.
Well, I mean, yeah, they're probably up to something stupid now, but I don't know about those books, but a series something like that, I don't mind because I could be completely wrong here, but I envision those books are each their own story that do not like reference things that happened before. Like you can just pick up 17 and read 17 without reading 16 or anything before. Don't know if that's the case, but if that is the case, that's fine with me. That's like how I want it to be. I don't want these like series to be a series bullshits.
Mm-hmm.
Which seems to be a lot of what it is now.
Like the Dan Brown books, basically.
Yeah. Or like my William W. Johnstone ones I talked about before, where it was like, you have a world and like you have a lot to tell. You could have stopped at about 15, and I tapped out at 26, I think.
Little overboard.
Yeah. And then I started reading. I'm gonna double check that I get the name right. Good, Clean Fun. Nick Offerman's story.
Oh, okay.
One of his books. Really good. So far, I'm only like 10%.
Dude, he's great.
I'm 10% of the way through. I think it really helps. There's a 30-minute.
Is that his latest one?
I believe he might have one after that. I'm not sure, but I believe it's either his latest or his second latest one.
Yeah. There's the only other two I know of is Gumption.
Yep.
And then there's like Without a Paddle or something like that.
And that might be before it too. So this might be the latest one. It's I want to say focusing on woodworking, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's
I think it's like life lessons kind of through woodworking.
It's very much the vessel in which he is telling you about things is through woodworking.
Dude, that man. He is very wise.
He is, and even though I know it's his character, Ron Swanson, from Parks and Rec, there is I highly recommend Good Clean Fun by him to just read. Just, just downtime, just read. There's no pressure to continue. He's not like, it's not cliffhanging, suspenseful. Yeah. It's just a good read. But before you read it, type in into YouTube search bar, Ron Swanson best of. Hit enter. There should be like a 30-minute video that's at like the top 4. It should be a 30-minute video that's like the best clips of Ron Swanson or something like that. Watch the whole thing and pay attention just so you can pick up mannerisms, voice inflections, deliveries of certain lines, because reading the book and hearing his voice as you're reading it changes it completely. Because you don't need to put a voice on it. His voice is great.
I'm a very big fan of Nick Offerman, and there's a lot of crossover between him and his Ron Swanson character.
Yes, there's extreme of the Ron Swanson had a skit written for him, or sorry, Nick had a skit written for Ron that was called Duke Silver. And when they wrote it, they did not know that Nick knew how to play the saxophone. And turns out he's a boss.
What was the other? Oh, the other thing too is do yourself a favor and look up Nick Offerman laughing.
Yes, look up Nick Offerman laughing. Look up him sitting.
Just look up Nick Offerman and watch a bunch of YouTube videos.
Yeah, definitely watch my 30-minute one. Watch him laughing, and then watch the Fireside one.
Oh yeah, the Yule log.
Yes, Nick Offerman Yule log.
He'll be there a while.
Don't watch the whole thing. You'll get the joke after about 30 seconds, but it's pretty good. Yeah,
maybe I'll make that a tradition where, like, the night before Christmas or whatever, Christmas Eve, I'll just put that up on the TV playing for the whole time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If I ever have, like, a friend gathering, that is just going to be the only thing that's on the TV. Like, we should watch Christmas movies. We're like, we are.
We're doing one better.
Yeah. So, highly recommend Good, Clean Fun, Nick Offerman.
Yeah.
But, not that you won't enjoy it without that, but take our stipulations into effect and then read the book.
Yeah. He's hilarious.
And then I've been watching the huge baseball. We had the All-Star weekend. It was a fun time. I want to say World Cup, but I can't remember if that ended before.
It did. It
last
ended
week
immediately after. I think.
So it was that Saturday, Sunday. I kind of lost track of time. So yeah, World Cup's over.
Yeah.
France are the winners. I won't get into the jokes that have been made about that because I don't agree with them. But England fell out of their fourth place. Belgium got third, and Croatia gets second. So cool, funny to see. I mean, it's always just funny with the semifinals where you go from having a good chance of being first or not having a medal. Like one game decides that. Well, two, I guess technically, but
it happens very quickly.
It does. It happens extremely quickly. And then baseball all-star game happened, plus the home run derby. For the show, you get to go in before the home run derby and choose, before the all-star weekend, choose who you think wins the home run derby, which outfield, left, center, or right, gets the most home runs hit into it, and then choose whether the American League or the National League wins the all-star game. I was 2 out of 3. So I'm right.
Nice.
I had right field, American League, and Kyle Schwarber, who made it to the finals of the home run derby, but lost to the golden boy, Bryce Harper. So I'm feeling all right.
So close.
I'm feeling pretty good. I know my sports about like the ones I know. That's a good sentence.
Lonely Island's sports song playing in my head.
Oh, man, I haven't heard that one in a long time. You said Lonely Island, I immediately heard T-Pain on a boat.
I'm on a boat.
It's going fast, and
I
got a nautical theme, patch me no Afghan.
Oh, now we're going to get copyright strike.
Yep, that's getting taken down. And then I think I mentioned Westworld last week, so I'm not going to mention that again.
Good old Westworld.
I watched episode 1 of season 2, so I'm working my way through. But that's about all. So, shall we actually begin, I guess?
Yeah. We've
been going for a bit. New releases in games this week for your gaming pleasure. Number 1 for Matt. Adventure Time, Pirates of the Enchiridion?
Enchiridion. You got it.
It's not Enchiridion? Okay.
Enchiridion. You
All right.
said it like
We've talked about it before.
Yeah,
I believe when it was coming out, we talked about it.
Yeah.
For PS4, Xbox, PC, and Switch.
I might pick that one up.
Chicken Assassin Reloaded for the PS4. The Far Cry 5 Mars DLC is out.
I watched the first couple minutes of that. It was kind of funny.
Was it goofy?
Yeah, it was goofy.
Okay.
It's Herc.
Really?
Herc abducting.
I guess actually that makes sense.
Herc abducting. Who's the guy that flies the plane? You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah. The one that has the kid.
Yep, abducts him. He gets onto the ship, and Herc, it's just his head in a floating like. It's pretty interesting.
That's pretty good. Ice Cream Surfer for the PS4 and Vita. That game's been around for a long time. I don't know why it's
Vita.
Mother Gunship for the PS4 and Xbox. Sonic Mania Plus for the PS4, Xbox, PC, and Switch. The Moose Man for PS4, Xbox, and Switch. Guts and Glory for the PS4 and Switch. We've played that.
Oh.
That's that one where the ragdolls are on like the bikes and stuff, and you're trying to navigate.
Through
that.
That was a good one.
It was a fun one.
Whatever happened to the woodchuck one?
Woodchuck one.
Was it woodchucks or?
Oh, it was, wasn't it?
You had to carry the logs.
Yeah,
around?
I had to carry the log. I don't know. We can try to find it after. I'm not that concerned.
I know there was like 2 or 3 levels. There wasn't much to it.
Yeah, I think there were maybe 4, but there were ones you could clearly see were locked and we couldn't get to.
Yeah.
And Nidhogg 2 for makes its way to Xbox.
Ugh.
Matt's
Bad
anger-ridden
memories.
game.
Bad memories.
I think they were only bad memories because Dewey doesn't want to shut up.
I just don't receive. I don't take shit talking well.
No, you don't. And the can learned that day.
Yeah. Bruised my forehead.
Just happy it wasn't full. Do you want number 1 or you want me to take number 1?
I'll take number 1, I guess.
Okay. Make sure you burninate it all.
Trogdor! The Burninator makes his glorious return in the form of Trogdor, the board game. It's currently on Kickstarter. Are you checking it by chance?
No, I heard you say makes its return, and I didn't hear you say Homestar Runner, so I didn't know if you were just.
No, I didn't say it.
I don't know where you started.
It's currently on Kickstarter with a goal of $75,000, which is already obliterated. As of last night, it was at $510,000 with 8,300 backers, and it still had 26 days left. Looked like a pretty simple, fun game.
Yeah, it looked cooperative, literally cooperative.
You burn the countryside.
You burn the countryside, you burn the peasants, and you burn all the thatch roof cottages.
I'm gonna look it up real quick because I'm curious what it's at. Because it was ticking as I had the tab open. It was just continuously ticking up.
Yeah, I just typed in Trogdor board game, and I'm not getting to the Kickstarter link.
I got it.
All right.
It is at $619,000.
So we're 109,000 plus.
With 10,165 backers.
So plus another 2,000 backers.
Yep. Like, what are they going to do with all that money?
Trogdor.
Yeah, but like they didn't even like. Well, I guess they could do a bigger initial run.
Yeah, pretty much. But Trogdor.
The Burninator. Burninating the countryside.
Burninating all the people. Thatched roof cottages.
I watched the video. It was pretty entertaining.
Consummate V's. Consummate.
You gonna get it?
I think the cheapest one to get the game is like $40. And that's maybe there's one cheaper. It's either 40 or 60. Actually gets you like the nice plastic like figures and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one that I would have got. I'm not sure still yet.
Okay.
I'm thinking I want to because it's Trogdor.
Yeah. It looks pretty. I don't know.
And it's Homestar Runner. Like a Homestar Runner. Like I like their videos. I specifically remember the technology one as well. I made my calculator say oboe shoes.
Oh yeah. Okay.
This is a hard disk. This is a floppy disk. What's the difference? Whack! It's a good time. Fun time. Homestar Runner, Technology, and Trogdor. Consummate V's and Majesty. All the majesty. All right, that's good reminiscing. Number 2 is the WoW 8.0 patch, which is the pre-patch. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but just now we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit more about it. And specifically, we'll start with the stat squish that did not go too well.
So I have heard.
And like I said earlier, for my experience has been fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I have heard horror stories of trying to level with the stat squish that is making it almost impossible to kill certain things. Other things that are just one-shotting people for showing up. There's just it's a lot of problems into it, but we talked earlier, and I don't want to continue the point just because I'm going to hear it for the 4th time probably because I've already talked about it with Todd. Is they can only fit so many people in a beta, and they can't keep delaying pre-patch because the more they delay pre-patch, the more they're going to have to they would have to potentially delay the launch.
Yeah.
So they need to, at a certain point, they needed to just push it out of beta, push it to the live servers, and you're going to get way more people, quote unquote, troubleshooting it for you than you would in beta.
Mm-hmm.
It's stable. The login problem was annoying. I didn't get to log in when pre-patch dropped on Tuesday till about 10:30 at night. They had to disable the communities feature. I don't know if that actually was like breaking things, but that got pushed away for right now. So there's still a bunch of hot fixes going on underneath, I'm sure. So we'll see.
It just it blows my mind that players like this game is how old now?
At least 15 years.
And you've gone through this how many times? Countless.
7 or 8.
Yeah, like, and it's
7.
It's roughly gone probably close to this every time.
Yeah, people were like, it's been bad before, but like this is the worst. And I'm like, yeah, it is. Mostly it is, but they're changing so much. Like,
yeah, and
we're staying in the same world. Like, we're not going to a different continent this time, so it's not like they have to. And the way that they're trying to just make it so user friendly that it is kind of breaking things. Like when they made the change to make it so now you can level 1 to 60 just in Azeroth. You don't have to like go to, and then 60 to 80 you can do versus 2 expansions. So some of the squishes and stuff are just kind of. Yeah, they can't catch everything. It's
it's Blizzard.
The game's massive.
It's World of Warcraft. They are gonna fix it. Yeah. Probably quicker than anyone will expect.
Yeah, and I'm sure they didn't necessarily expect the amount of traffic on pre-patch night, but that's the harsh realization that your pre-patch numbers are going to be like as bad as that was are going to be superseded again when launch comes out.
Yeah.
And their whole promotion towards this thing is that they are trying to do launch worldwide at one time. For us, that's 6 p.m. Eastern. Luckily, I'm not at work at 6 p.m. Eastern.
I was going to ask, do you plan on...
Smartly, I also took Wednesday off. So I have from 6 p.m. Tuesday night until whenever I feel like going to sleep Wednesday night.
If it launches smoothly.
If it ever launches during that window, I should be able to play at some point.
I hope you don't get boned in that regard.
If I get boned, if I'm not like playing the game by 1 a.m., I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
If we have reached a 7-hour delay, I'm going to bed. The world server is going to go down. Even if we all get in, somewhere between 3 to 6 hours, the world server will crash. Mm-hmm. And we'll have to wait for at least 30 minutes. Happens every time. Because, that's right. We're, our numbers are dwindling. We're only having an 8 million subscriber count. Well, guess what? Every expansion, we go back up to 15. So, influx of people.
All right.
But I'm still pumped. It's going to be a fun time.
Yeah,
I always enjoy WoW. I enjoy where we're going. I'm enjoying the allied races. I'm not hating it, even if the Horde are being painted as the bad people because we burned down a fucking tree. Whatever. Deal with it, you child king.
Oh, wow.
Sorry.
It's interesting.
I don't actually hate the Alliance, but it's fun to kind of get into that role sometimes.
It's interesting that Blizzard's still trying to make WoW accessible to new people. I think that's...
I think it's the it's not their calling card. Their calling card is a good game. Their want to still bring in new people, knowing that they've watched the beginning of MMOs and if you talk to whoever you talk to, the end of MMOs. Like there's 3 to 4 ESO, Star Wars, WoW, RuneScape.
Whatever happened to Lord of the Rings? Is that still going?
The servers might be alive, but it's not popular. And I feel like there's a space one I'm forgetting.
Eve.
Yeah, Eve would
Online.
be pretty much.
They got some. I didn't put it in here, but they got some shit going on.
Eve always has some shit going on because they're
The whole
weird worlds.
I'll just throw it in there real quick. Whole map at war.
Yeah,
split right down the middle, right down the cross section of the map.
And that's the weird thing with like that game where you can actually literally just make the entire map at war. Like even in WoW, when you're like, yeah, this is the Alliance area and this is the Horde area, we're very much we're the kid that's like, but I'm touching you, and then Eve, it's like, I'm touching you, boom.
Eve has like global politics and stuff. Like I was reading the story behind this war.
Eve's factions are people. Our factions are NPCs.
Yeah, I was reading the reasons behind the war, and it's like all these like someone can in these comments of the news section was like, how did they get this faction in on this war? These are a bunch of old RPGers who never go to war.
Yeah,
and then like someone came in and explained like, oh, another faction swept in and like screwed them over, and I was like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's basically Game of Thrones in space.
It really is. I wish I was that like good at games where I could.
I don't even need to be that good. I would very much love to sit in the middle of the line, like on the line, just with popcorn, and just be like,
what's going on here?
Who's gonna kill who? Anybody wanna? He said your mom's fat. He said you're ugly. Somebody shoot somebody, and it just be like those people that you'd get a picnic basket and go watch the Civil War. Like,
do they have insurance in that game now?
I don't even want to.
All right,
yeah,
anyways,
we have an insurance there. Wait till what Star Citizen does.
So San Diego Comic-Con is going on.
That it is.
I started to pull up things, but I figured it was just pointless. We'll just do it next week and cover everything in a go.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything you want to bring up.
No, not really. Arguably, maybe statistically, the biggest nerd convention in the United States.
Oh, yeah.
Is San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah. I haven't watched any of it. I know they released, there were some trailers. And there was like Titan,
there's trailers out. James Gunn is having problems. I mean, fun times.
Disney. So someone brought up a good point in the Reddit, speaking of the James Gunn situation.
Okay. If you don't know the James Gunn situation, go read about it. I don't want to talk about it.
They're like, so since Disney effectively owns like X amount of the movie
I was going to say
industry,
everything, but yeah.
That would essentially make him blacklisted.
Yeah, in theory, he would be blacklisted, and that's why I say go right to Warner Brothers and go, DC, we are doing this.
Yeah, I know, right?
You want to see a Justice League movie in my eyes? Let's party. Give me some touch here. Clone Wars trailer. I saw there was a trailer. Did not watch it though. Is that an animated trailer?
So you're familiar with the Clone Wars animated show?
The show, yeah.
Another season.
Oh, another season. Okay, not a movie, just another season.
Yeah, I think they're doing another season. It was short and sweet. It's just an extension. They're filling in holes, basically.
Okay, and Titan?
Titan is like a live act. I didn't watch the trailer, but apparently it's a live action Teen Titan.
Oh, I did. There was rumors about that leading up to Comic-Con.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be gritty, like really gritty, and like there's a line in there where Robin says "fuck Batman," and apparently that was a big deal.
Well, that's how he would be, like in that. If it's the same thing, kind of going back to what we talked about last week with the Joker movie.
Mm-hmm.
As much as it's a personal want for me. But as much as the joy is around Avengers, like, okay, the first time we actually saw, like, problems was Infinity War.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest. The first time we actually had feeling that was not just like, woohoo, pew, 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 was Infinity War. What I want DC to be dark.
Yeah.
Their comics and, like, worlds are not bright and spitting color.
The problem I feel like that DC had, we're gonna
I'd say you don't go with that sentence because you're gonna be gone.
Yeah, it's just they need to stop trying to play on the fence. Just pick a side and be it the dark and gritty side.
Yeah. Don't teeter the lines, people. Commit.
All right, what's up next? Doesn't matter. I mean, I'll just do this one too. There was an interesting thing that happened on CNBC's Money Now show. Jim Cramer, who is a well-regarded financial, I guess, analyst, you call him, stock market analyst of some kind. Stock market analyst, I think, is what we're calling it.
Stock market loudmouth?
Yeah, that's a good one.
I don't want to give him the idea that he's like, because I think there was this stuff that came out about him a couple years ago that doesn't make him well liked anymore for whatever happened.
He mentioned in the middle of the show basically Overwatch League and the app and how it's like really hot right now and it's a lot bigger than other stuff. And one of his co-hosts like kind of was taking pot shots, like he kind of shit on games a little bit, and he defended esports as being a real sport.
Yeah,
it was kind of interesting how in passing it happened.
Yeah, it was funny to see because he's just like out of nowhere. He's like, I got this app on my phone. I can't stop looking at it. Overwatch League, New York Excelsior. And he's just going off, and I'm like, what? Jim Cramer's insane.
Yeah.
Like, that's a known statement.
Uh-huh.
But he is now talking about Overwatch League in the middle of financial, like, news. And I guarantee these other two guys have no idea what he's talking about, and he's not stopping. And I was like, fucking yeah, Jim Cramer. You have no idea what's going on, but who cares? I don't know if he has kids, but I'm sure if he has a kid, he's probably into it, and that's probably what turned it on.
Well, 5 years from now, people are going to be like, oh, man, that guy was on to something.
Yeah, like, Jim Cramer called the Overwatch League worth millions.
Billions.
Number 5. 14. No Man's Sky Next launches July 24th and brings with it a slew of new goodies. But guess what? The best part is that it's free if you own the game already. Now, let's talk about the changes.
The changes.
There has been a visual overhaul. Blah, blah, blah. Third person.
Yeah, they talked about a bunch of like, it was, the normal cliche.
Let's put it this way. There's a trailer out. You can go watch it. And now we are slowly reaching the point with No Man's Sky where I'm like,
this looks good.
I would have probably played this. Not what I did play. You can also command freighters. You can assemble and upgrade a fleet of frigates and command them from the bridge of your freighter. Send your fleet out into the universe or deploy them to help you as you explore a specific system. Improved freighter base building allows a truly custom capital ship. Invite your friends aboard and take on challenging multiplayer missions from the Galactic Commission station on your bridge.
Speaking of EVE Online.
Speaking of being Admiral Akbar. Hey, it's a tarp. I prefer dyslexic Admiral Akbar.
I prefer the Robot Chicken cereal. Akbar. What was it called? I think it was just called Akbar cereal or something.
Something like that, yeah. I don't know. Any of the Robot Chicken Star Wars stuff.
This shit's top notch.
What do you think you're going to pay for with that torso light bright of yours?
My other favorite one of theirs is...
What do you mean they blew up the Death Star?
The frickin' space slugs when it misses the Millennium Falcon and they have a conversation about ordering Chinese food.
Oh, yeah. What do you mean they blew up the Death Star? Well, I don't know.
What is that when he calls Darth Vader? You smell like a burnt fart or something like that.
Yeah. And then he's like, no, I'll take ham. And then he's still talking to Vader and he's like, love you. When he ends the call, he's like, I love you.
Those were so good.
I'm gonna watch him after this now. Little Hitler. Sorry, different side chat.
All right, where were we? I'm gonna keep going here. Unlimited base building. Bases can now be built.
Unlimited power.
Fucking prequel memes.
R/, visit it.
Bases can now be built anywhere on any planet, and that includes underwater, interestingly.
Ooh, interesting.
Dramatically increased base building complexity and size limits, hundreds of new base parts, own multiple bases.
And which is all cool because you want to know what wasn't in the game when we played?
Literally anything we've mentioned so far.
Anything we've mentioned or upgrades to those things.
Yeah.
The originals weren't
Base
in the
building
game.
wasn't even in the thing
Nope.
to begin with.
Not at all.
Oh my god.
That was part of the 1.0 patch or whatever.
Yeah, see, like I didn't even make it to one of the first patches, like the
No,
1.0
I didn't either.
patch.
I was like, I can't.
I think I might go back when this launches and be like, what is this game?
I don't own the game anymore, so I will gladly come over and watch you do that.
All right. I'll just keep going.
Yep, last one.
Full implementation of multiplayer. Team up with a small team of friends, explore the universe together, or be joined by random travelers. From other places, it looks like it's a 4-player max situation. You can help friends stay alive, prey on them, to survive. Tiny shelters or complex colonies that you build as a team are shared for all players. You can fight as a pirate or a wingman in an epic space battle with friends and enemies. Race exocraft across weird alien terrains, creating race
Pod
crafts.
racing?
Oh, pod racing. There it is.
We have made the prequels into a video game.
There it is. And that's
Character
basically it.
customization. With character customization, can I become Jar Jar Binks?
Oh, we should become
Misa Yusa.
the two pod racing announcers.
I can't do
That
it.
was pretty good, actually.
I can do the voice, but I don't know what he says. I'm not Jacob from Funhouse. You want to go see it?
His
good.
was just
Ooh, bunk. I can't do it. I can do the voice, but I can't. I don't know what they say to get the cadence right. Number 6. The Culling 2 is shutting down 8 days after launch. That's not.
that's Jurassic Park.
Yeah, it is. Xaviant's director of operations posted a short video with the announcement among a few others. They're pulling the game from all storefronts and issuing full refunds, going back to developing the original Culling game, but starting from the day 1 build. This day 1 build will also be available on the developers' test servers for free to anyone who purchased the original game. They also announced that when the Culling re-release takes place, the game will be free to play.
Bo shizzle.
I think it's the right move. You can clearly see when you watch the video that it has affected them.
Yeah.
And I don't say like they deserved it, but like it's good that they acknowledge it and that they are going to try to rectify their situation.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch. I mean, I could care less about the.
Yeah,
games,
I'm gonna watch
but-
from a distance how the community receives it and stuff because it's
Yeah.
not.
I think initially there was actually, from what I saw when I was first looking up this stuff, it was like people were like, "Yeah, fuck them." Like there was like an initial backlash against the announcement. I'm like,
Yeah,
you
Like,
people
well, it's
have
people.
no
It's the people.
souls. Like,
It's also the people that just didn't probably watch the video.
yeah.
They're like issues apology, and you're like, yeah, fuck you, and you're like, you don't. Did you wait?
Did
What?
you watch the video? Did you read the article? Like, all right, where was I? I don't think we've talked about it before, but the Atari VCS. Do you know what that stands for?
Virtual. I got nothing.
Virtual console system? I don't know. We'll figure it out later. The Atari VCS is a thing that we've known about for a while, but we did get a couple details about the hardware. According to Rob Wyatt, the system architect for the Atari, the new system... where was I? The new system will run a distro of Linux called Atari OS. How original.
I also, real quick, just love that when people... First off, Atari, obviously, yes, that's going to be the name. But whenever you look at how many distros and there's like OS, and you're like, God,
Come on, guys.
literally call it anything else. It's what it is. It's a good name, obviously, but it's like,
It's easy, but
name it
still kind of annoying.
like Atari FU.
Nice.
And when they're like, what does it stand for? You're like, Fun Unit. It's the Atari Fun Unit. What? And then just
Okay.
deadpan deliver that to a boardroom of people and just watch them look at you confused.
Well, we know what distro of Linux Nate's going to be coming out with.
Cali FU. Cali Fun Unit. It's all hacker tools. Anyway, moving on.
Yep. All right. So it'll have 8 gigs of unified memory and use AMD's Bristol Ridge APU with Radeon R7 graphics. The console will have 2 controllers, an Atari Classic joystick, which is exactly what you would think, and the Atari Modern controller, which is basically an Xbox controller.
Which is pretty much the standard if you're going to make an off-brand controller. Did we discuss that there was 8 gigs of DDR3?
It did not say, but it's unified. So I'm assuming it's going to be... I don't know, actually, because if it's unified, I'm assuming they're going to use it as video RAM as well. So it would have to be like DDR5, because I think that's what's in like most consoles, like the PS4.
Well, is the PS4 and the other one are running off GDDR5?
Yeah.
In their graphics cards.
But I think they use it as unified RAM still.
Okay.
Which I think is what they're doing. Which
makes sense if they're using an 8 gig AMD card, technically.
Yeah. It's not the Ryzen 2 or Ryzen 1.5, whatever we're calling it, APU. It's actually an older gen chip. I didn't look into it, but I think it roughly puts it on par with like the Switch.
That sounds right, yeah. Which, hey, cool, whatever, Atari, do what you want to try to do. I mean, you could just release a classic thing and...
Yeah, so the whole idea, I just kind of skimmed through it, but the whole idea is that they're trying to make a system that's really easy to develop for.
Right.
So, who knows? We'll see.
Number 8. There's an interesting talking point here, and that's why it's on the show.
Yeah.
I love that you specified that.
Well, it's lacks a lot of detail. I just figured we would have something to say about it.
Yep. Germany has banned pre-orders for things that have a vague release date or no release date at all. The ruling actually spawns from a consumer protection claim against a specific retailer in relation to the Samsung Galaxy S6, which shouldn't have been released, but does include video games.
That was a terrible phone.
That was a really bad phone. I find it funny. I also love, not only did this just come out, right?
Yeah.
It comes out with the announcement and a picture of Final Fantasy on it, and I just started laughing. There were 2 pictures they could have put on this thing, and I would have just enjoyed it. And it's Final Fantasy 7 and Shenmue 3. Both could have just gone. It would have been so entertaining.
That would have been great if they made a collage of like...
everything that's not technically announced.
I kind of think it's a good move.
I think it's a good move. Like, why would you be able to pre-order something when you have, like, literally no release date? There's nothing to even try to hold the person to because they haven't put a release date down. So, not only are you hurting the consumer, but you're also kind of hurting the middleman in your retailer.
Yeah.
I think yes, your retailer's getting money, but your retailer's also going to be the first ones to be bombarded with, I pre-ordered this. Like, where the hell is it?
Yeah.
And then once they go... I don't know, you'd have to ask the company. Then here comes your Reddit comments.
Yeah, cool.
And this worked out perfectly because number 9 is for you.
Yeah, Uncharted fan film. Did you watch it?
I saw a clip, but I did not watch it.
Oh, okay. You played the Uncharted games, right?
No. So,
really?
Yes. So.
Wait. Yes as in you have, or yes as in you haven't played them?
Yes as in really, I have not played them.
What?
Oh, that's a good gif. I
want that on. Like, I wish I could put it on a shirt somehow. Like,
what I want to do is I want to get. All right, so we're gonna sidetrack completely, but I want to get another Raspberry Pi and get one of those big like LED screens that you can get on them that are like 32 by 64 LED screens, and just have that. I want to get a few of them, and I almost want to make like an LED wall this size and program like half of it to be scoreboards. And the other one should just run random GIFs at the bottom for entertainment factors.
Have you looked at how much that would cost? Just out of curiosity,
I don't know that I would be able to control all. I would probably have to get 4 pies and control
each one
grid differently, each one separately, and just put them together as like visually to look good, but not to actually like talk to each other.
That's a really interesting idea.
There's projects that are out there that people have posted that they're using an MLB. The one I saw on Reddit earlier. Was they're using an MLB scoreboard app or something like that, and it's a Pi running 2 32 by 64 LED boards, and it is the scoreboard of the game, and it's just live updating like as it goes. I was like, that's
that's
pretty cool.
cool.
Like, that's a really good, like, man cave bar
Yeah.
thing that if you can do that for, like, say you had multiple ones like I'm talking about, and you can change them between, like, what sports are going on in that season.
And have, like, if multiple games are running, have every game, like, displayed, like...
Yeah, so, I mean, you could do it on TVs, obviously, but it's not the same. Like, once you get to too big of a scale, you want to do it on TVs. But, like, if I had 4 screens, right, it's, like, 3 main sports. So I have baseball, soccer, and, like, basketball starting up. So it's those 3, and then my bottom one is just going to be GIFs, and it's going to be Bruce Green going, "Oh, what?"
That is a good one. I
Sorry,
watched it.
We got
it was
completely
good.
sidetracked. Uncharted fan film.
Yeah.
Yes, I have not played the games.
I cannot believe that.
So I started. Did I borrow the trilogy from you?
You might have.
I borrowed it from somebody.
Uh-huh.
And no, I didn't. I borrowed 1 and 2 on my PS3 when it was the Platinum Collection.
Uh-huh.
And I started to play 1. And I think if I'm going to do this, I need to just borrow Uncharted 4 from you and do that. And not try to go back. Like,
I would say skip 1 and play 2 and 3.
maybe just because, like, as I was playing 1 visually and, like, controlly, and I was like, this does not mesh with me.
1 did not. 1 is like, I don't want to say it's bad because it's not a bad game, but
Right.
it does not age well, and it didn't.
Even with
It didn't port well at all. Either
and even
in
with the
collection.
re-up in the graphics, I'm like, I was playing it. I'm on that boat scene, and it's kind of
Dude,
like,
that's
like,
the worst.
something about this does not. Nothing's grabbing me. Like, obviously, I'm in the beginning. I'm not expecting it to, but I still need, like, the want to keep going, and I just didn't have it.
Yeah. 2 and 3 and 4 are obviously significantly better. I say you'd have to play 2 and 3 because
I know characters.
Because that's the big debate is
like overarching for the most part storylines. I know Nadine and Sully. Like, I know Nate. I know characters.
The debate is really between which one 2 and 3 is, which one's the better or
Right.
the best one. So.
Yeah, I know the 10.0 joke. So
it was good.
It was Nathan Fillion.
It was Nathan Fillion as Drake.
Which, funny enough, now don't get me wrong, I don't dislike Nathan Fillion, but I love giving you shit for loving him so much. Not that, no, obviously, not a bad thing. It's our good jabs back at each other. I'm like, I don't give a shit about Firefly. I never watched it. I don't care about Bones. Whatever. I don't.
Dude,
I didn't give a shit about Cade dying in Destiny. Yeah. Oh, trust me. We could have if you and I took like a month off, we could very much put each other through nerd experiences that the other one has never had for the entire month and never run out. That sounds really weird, but watching him play Drake very much looked like Drake. Like, it was very believable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, the movie quality is 50-50 because obviously it's a fan film, but watching, like, just his look as Drake, and he's cosplayed it before, I believe, works. Like, it fits. There's no, I didn't look at it and go like, oh, they like shoehorned this person into this role. Like, oh, they wedged Nathan Fillion onto Drake. Like, no, it just works. It's not like Jared Leto in The Joker. Like, that doesn't work.
Yeah, they had Stephen Lang playing Sully, which was interesting. Another really well-known actor. What else? I mean, it was 15 minutes or so. It's definitely a fan film.
Yeah,
and they did throw in like the black bar transition between the.
Oh, geez,
it was,
nice.
And the over the shoulder shooting was like the same way you shoot in the game. It was kind of interesting.
Third person.
Yep. Yeah, it was good. It was fun.
All right, number 10. Ubisoft had a record-setting first quarter for them. The important part, though, is that PC sales were second only to the PS4, meaning that Xbox One comes in third.
Push shizzle.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't.
But at the same time, well, no, I don't know if that counts Steam sale numbers. So
I'm getting sick of the record sales because it happened. I feel like every quarter it's like record.
Well, it's kind of the same thing where like Kenny and I joke about soccer transfers. Like, oh yeah, it's a record deal that they signed this guy for $100 million. I'm like, yeah, it is. That's going to get broken next month when they sign a different guy for $102 million. Like, we're going to keep going up now, especially because I mean we're just populating the world more. More things are going to get bought. It's kind of what happened. Number 11. I'm just going to go with it.
Go ahead.
During a 343 social stream, 343 Industries lead writer said, I'll tell you right now, the only BR we're interested in is a battle rifle.
I really enjoyed that quote. I don't know.
I also did not read ahead, and I just put that voice on it from the start. So, yeah, cool. Makes sense. I don't really need to see them do a battle royale. Though they easily could.
I did want to bring this up, and the reason why I put it in there is, I think I have usually when I don't want to say make a prediction, or yeah, I guess I'll just say that. Usually when I make a prediction, it usually it goes like the exact opposite. I feel like.
Okay.
So I've been complaining and bitching that battle royale games are going to be infesting the game world, but as evidence of E3 and all these publishers recently or developers recently, everyone's not touching it with a 10-foot pole,
except for Battlefield and Call of Duty.
Yeah, but I mean, Battlefield makes sense for the most part. Call of Duty doesn't, but that's Call of Duty, and fuck them.
Money, money, money.
I hate them anyways.
Money, money. But yeah, it'll be a lot of people. Yeah, are avoiding it. The Red Dead one's going to be the 50-50 one.
Yeah,
and same with kind of like a Fallout. We'll see what they do, especially with the multiplayer aspect being added. You got any deals? I didn't look at Humble Bundle. I'm not going to call them out, except for just go take a look. I know there's sales and bundles going on.
I think it's done now. What's today? The 20th?
Yes.
It's going on for 2 more days, actually. IKEA has a sale on their desks.
And guess what, people? Nate Killian approves. He has an IKEA desk.
Yep. He does have that was like a John Wayne face he did there. I don't know what was up with that. Yeah, it was like a...
But that was Elvis. I can't. What is a John Wayne impression? I gotta go to the watering hole.
Wow.
Is that John? I can't tell if that's John or Lenny from Mice and Men. Is that John Wayne? No, he pauses, doesn't he? I gotta go to the watering hole.
Oh my God. Well,
it's time for my John Wayne impression. Yeah, other deal, Twitch games. There's still ones that are available till the end of the month that started late. So if you're missing ones, go get them. If you missed out on the early ones, hey, I called them out for you each week. That's your fault.
Yeah,
it's free games, people. Freedom. All right.
Free dollars.
We'll see you next week. Same time, same place, same
Bat cave.
There you go. Good job. Later.